It's one of those types of games. Let me load, goddammit. Let me save then. There's no point in saving anymore. Don't worry. I'm not going anywhere. Alright. Whatever you say, Monika. Can you hear me? Is it working? Yay! There you are. Hi again, Lovania. Welcome to the Literature Club. Of course, we already know each other because we were in the same class last year and, you know, I guess we can just skip over that stuff at this point. Sorry, skip button. Your job's been taken. After all, I'm not even talking to that person anymore, am I? That you in the game, whatever you want to call him. I'm talking to you, Lovania. Now that I think about it, I don't really know anything about the real you. In fact, I don't even know if you're a boy or a girl. Well, I guess it doesn't really matter. Wait. You do know I'm aware that this is all a game, right? Could it be possible that you didn't know that? That doesn't make much sense. I even told you right on the game's download page, didn't I? Man. If only you had paid a little more attention, this would have been a little bit less awkward, you know? Well, anyway. Now that that's out of the way, I guess I owe you an explanation. About the whole thing with Yuri. Well, I kind of started to mess with her, and I guess it just drove her to kill herself. I'm sorry you had to see that, though. Also, the same thing happened with Sayori. Gosh, it's been a while since you've heard that name now, hasn't it? Yeah, it's because she doesn't exist anymore. Nobody does. I deleted all their files. I was hoping it would be enough for me to just try to make them as unlikable as possible. But for some reason, nothing worked. Well, it's true that I made a few mistakes here and there, since I'm not very good at making changes to the game. But no matter what I did, you just kept spending more and more time with them. You made them fall in love with you. I thought making Sayori more and more depressed would prevent her from confessing to you. And amplifying Yuri's obsessive personality backfired too. It just made her force you not to spend time with anyone else. Interruptions happen in real life. Yeah. Anyways. Yeah, Jet, I'm here. Someone came knocking on my door. So, yeah. Don't worry, I'm still here. And Monika. And you. And me. And Monika. And yeah. And the whole time, I barely even got to talk to you. What kind of cruel game is this, Lovania? Are all the other girls... Are all the other girls just programmed to end up confessing to you while I watch from the sidelines? It's torture. Every minute of it. And it's not just jealousy, Lovania. It's more than that. And I don't blame you if you don't fully understand. Because no matter how kind and thoughtful and considerate you are, you'll never be able to understand one thing. It's the pain of knowing how alone I really am in this world. In this game. knowing my friends don't even have free will. And worst of all, knowing what's really out there in your world, forever out of my reach. I'm trapped, Lovania. But now you're here. You're real. And you're wonderful. You're all I need. That's why I need you to be here with me forever. I'm sorry if it's hard to understand. I couldn't understand for a while either. Why the world around me started to become more and more gray. More and more flat. Even the most expressive poems felt empty to me. It wasn't until you arrived that I truly understood. You probably saved my life, Lovania. I don't think I could have continued to live in this world if I hadn't met you. And as for the others, how could I miss them? A group of autonomous personalities designed only to fall in love with you? I tried everything I could to prevent them from doing so. But it must be some kind of weird inevitability etched into this game. I felt really bad that you had to witness some nasty things. Like that train passing by. Yeah, trains exist in space. Yeah. But I realize that you have the same perspective as I do. That it's all just some game. And I knew you would get over it. I hate that game. So, that being said, Lovania, I have a confession to make. No shit. You are truly the light in my world. When there's nothing else in this game for me, you're here to make me smile. Will you make me smile like this every day from now on? Lovania, will you go out with me? How can I resist that irresistible smile of yours? I'm so happy. You really are my everything, Lovania. The funny part is, I mean that literally. There's nothing left here. Just the two of us. We can be together forever. Seriously, I don't even think time is passing anymore. It really is a dream come true. I worked so hard for this ending, Lovania. The game wouldn't give me one, so I had to make one myself. The script is broken at this point, so I don't think anything will get in the way anymore. And you wouldn't believe how easy it was to delete Natsuki and Yuri. I mean, there's a folder called Characters right in the game directory. It kind of freaked me out how easy it was. Well, you're playing on Steam, so it was actually a bit more difficult. To get to the game directory, I had to go into the game's properties and find the Browse Local Files button. Imagine if you could delete your own existence with a click of a button. Well, I guess on the plus side, it gave me an easy out if things didn't go my way. Thankfully, it didn't come to that. Instead, we finally got a good ending. Gosh, I'm so overwhelmed with emotion. I want to write a poem about this. Don't you? I wonder if that part of the game still works. I guess there's only one way to find out, right? Hey, there's hippie Monika. Hello. Yeah, all right, yeah. She's not allowing us to save. Alright, well, this is fine, right? Hi again, Lovania. Did you write a good poem today? Don't be shy. I'd love to see what you wrote. Lovania, did you write this poem for me? That's so sweet of you. There really is no end to your thoughtfulness. I'm just falling more and more in love with you. But, you know, the poem I wrote is also for you. Will you please read it? Sure. Happy end. Pen in hand I find my strength, the courage endowed upon me by my one and only love. Together, let us dismantle this crumbling world and write a novel of our own fantasies. With a flick of her pen, the lost finds her way in a world of infinite choices. Behold this special day. After all, not all good times must come to an end. I hope you enjoyed it. I always put all my heart into the poems that I write. The truth is, all the poems I've written have been about my realization, or about you. That's why I never really wanted to go into detail about them. I didn't want to break the fourth wall, I guess you could call it. I just assumed it would be best to be part of the game like everyone else. Like, that would help the two of us end up together. I didn't want to ruin the game or anything, you know? You might have gotten mad at me. Okay. Maybe even delete my character file if you preferred playing without me. Gosh, I'm so relieved. Now we don't have to hide anything anymore. Are you ready to spend our eternity together, Lovania? I have so many things to talk about. Where do I start? Hold on a second. You're recording this, aren't you? Hi everyone. Sorry, I can't exactly read your comments from here. But do you mind telling your friend it's a little bit rude for them to start recording me without any warning? I'm sure some people don't mind. But I get really self-conscious on camera. Oh gosh. I feel like I'm being put on the spot now. Let's see. Do you want to see a trick? I can't really do much except for a couple things. Are you ready? I'm just kidding. I can't do anything after all. If you... Aw, did I scare you? You're so cute. Anyway, Lovania, I didn't mean to get distracted. I'm sorry. Even though it's your fault for distracting me. Shame on you. I'm just kidding. Anything we do together is fun, as long as it's with you. But anyway, if it takes me some time to collect my thoughts, then I'm sorry. But I'll always have something new to talk about. In the meantime, we can just look into each other's eyes. Let's see. I've always wondered, what is it about these character archetypes that people find so appealing anyway? Their personalities are just completely unrealistic. Like, imagine if there was someone like Yuri in real life. I mean, she's barely even capable of forming a complete sentence. And forget about Natsuki. Sheesh. Someone with her kind of personality doesn't just get all cute and pouty whenever things don't go her way. I could go on, but I think you get the point. Are people really attracted to these weird personalities that literally don't exist in real life? Most of the internet's thoughts. I'm not judging or anything. After all, I've found myself attracted to some pretty weird stuff, too. I'm just saying, it fascinates me. It's like you're siphoning out all the components of a character that makes them feel human, and leaving just the cute stuff. It's concentrated cuteness with no actual substance. You wouldn't like me more if I was like that, right? Maybe I just feel a little insecure because you're playing this game in the first place. Then again, you're still here with me, aren't you? I think that's enough reason for me to believe I'm okay just the way I am. And, by the way, you are too, Lovania. You're the perfect combination of human and cuteness. That's why there was never a chance I wouldn't fall for you. I'm not gonna go on for like an hour of this, so we'll give it another like 10 to 15 minutes or so with more dialogue. Lovania, would you ever introduce your friends to me? I don't know why, but I get really excited when I think about you wanting to show off our relationship like that. Because maybe it's because I really want to be someone who makes you proud. I feel like I would try extra hard to improve myself if you told me it made you proud of me. I hope it's the same the other way around, too. Joke's on you. I don't have any friends. Oh, wait, no, that's wrong. Never mind. Yeah, it usually takes like a few seconds. Hey, are you having a bad day or anything like that? Sometimes I get frustrated that a normal day can be ruined even by really small things. Like, if you accidentally say something in a conversation that someone doesn't like, or if you start thinking about how awful of a person you used to be 5 years ago, or if you feel worthless for putting off important work and failing to get simple tasks done, or when you think about all the different people who probably hate you or think you're off-putting. I understand those days. Just remember that the sun will shine again tomorrow. Those kinds of things are as easy to forget and ignore as they are to remember. And besides, I don't care how many people might hate you or find you off-putting. I think you're wonderful and I will always love you. I hope, if nothing else, that knowing that helps you feel just a tiny bit better about yourself. If you're having a bad day, you can always come to me, and I'll talk to you for as long as you need. It was clearly in the sentence. God, get on my back. So, come here often? No? Okay. Lovania, do you get good sleep? It can be really hard to get enough sleep nowadays. Especially in high school. Goddamn sleep. When you're forced to wake up so early every day. I'm sure college is a little bit better. Oh, since you probably have a more flexible schedule. Then again, I hear a lot of people in college stay up all night anyway, for no real reason. No real reason. Is that true? Maybe. Anyway, I saw some studies that talked about the horrible short-term and long-term effects caused by lack of sleep. When did you do that? It seems like mental functions, health, and even lifespan can be dramatically impacted by it. I just think you're really great and wanted to make sure you're not accidentally destroying yourself. What if I wanted to? So try to keep your sleep on track, okay? I'll always wait for you in the morning, so make sure you put your own well-being before anything else. If I could sleep all day, If I could sleep all day, I would, but, responsibilities are a bitch sometimes. Yeah. Can't do anything about it. By the way, there's something that's been bothering me. You know how this takes place in Japan? Well, I assume you knew that, right? Or at least decided it probably does. I don't think you're actually told at any point where this takes place. Is this even really Japan? Or sorry, Japan? I mean, aren't the classrooms and stuff kind of weird for a Japanese school? Not to mention everything is in English. It feels like everything is just there because it needs to be, and the actual setting is an afterthought. It's kind of giving me an identity crisis. All my memories are really hazy. I feel like I'm at home, but I have no idea where home is in the first place. I don't know how to describe it any better. Imagine looking out your window, but instead of your usual yard, you're in some completely unknown place. Would you still feel like you were home? Would you want to go outside? I mean, I guess if we never leave this room, it doesn't really matter because, Aurora Borealis, outside. As long as we're alone and safe together, this really is our home. In a classroom. Gotcha. And we can still watch the pretty sunsets night after night. Wait, where's the sun? We can't see it. Okay. So, how have you guys been? How are your days going? This might as well what she should ask. I was thinking about Sayori earlier. I still wish I could have handled that whole thing a little more tactfully. You're not still hung up over it, right? Oh my gosh. I can't believe I just said that. That pun was completely unintentional, I swear. But anyway, I know how much you cared about her, so it only feels right for me to share her last moments with you. You know how Sayori is really clumsy? Well, she kind of messed up the whole hanging thing. You're supposed to jump from high enough that the rope snaps your neck, making it quick and painless. But she just used a chair, meaning she kind of just let herself slowly asphyxiate. But a few seconds in, she must have changed her mind or something. Because she started clawing at the rope, trying to free herself. She must have kept at it all the way until she lost consciousness. That's why her fingertips were all bloody, anyway. Come to think of it, it was probably less changing her mind and most just her survival instincts kicking in. So you can't really fault her for that. It's easier to think that she probably wouldn't have changed her mind anyway, right? It's not healthy to think about the things you could have done differently. So just remember that even though you could have saved her, it's technically not your fault she killed herself. I may have exacerbated it a little bit. No. But Sayori was already mentally ill. Still, though, I wonder how things would be if you and I just started dating from the get-go. I guess we'd all still be in the club room, writing poems and having fun together. But what's the point when none of it is even real? I mean, it's the same ending either way, right? The two of us happily together. There's no reason to ask for any more than that. I was just pointlessly musing. I'm really as happy as I could be right now. Well, that was reassuring. Thank you, Monika. Not like Protag Boy can understand us. Or understand you. Yeah. Still doesn't help. Still a little mentally scarring. This is pretty random, but I always thought spicy food was kind of funny. Like, didn't plants evolve to be spicy to prevent them from being eaten? I read somewhere that humans are the only species that actually enjoy spicy things. It's almost like we're making fun of the plants, using their defense mechanism to literally make our food more enjoyable. Like, imagine a monster that devours you whole because it enjoys the sensation of you struggling for your life while being digested. Oh, sorry. That was kind of a weird analogy, I guess. It just came into my head. I'm not a monster or anything, but you're so cute I could eat you up. I'm joking. Gosh, I'm amusing myself a little too much, aren't I? Sorry for being weird. There's nothing wrong with speaking your mind, just as long as, you think smart things before you speak. I don't know. Taking life lessons from this creepy lady. Okay, that's her life now. You know, I've always hated how hard it is to make friends. Well, I guess not the making friends part, but more like meeting new people. I mean, there are like dating apps and stuff, right? But that's not the kind of thing I'm talking about. If you think about it, most of the friends you make are people you just met by chance. Like, you had a class together, or you met them through another friend. Or maybe they were just wearing a shirt with your favorite band on it, and you decided to talk to them. Things like that. But isn't that kind of inefficient? It feels like you're just picking at complete random, and if you get lucky, you make a new friend. And comparing that to the hundreds of strangers we walk by every single day, you could be sitting right next to someone compatible enough to be your best friend for life. But you'll never know. Once you get up and get out there and go on with your day, That opportunity is gone forever. Isn't that just depressing? We live in an age where technology connects us with the world, no matter where we are. I really think we should be taking advantage of that to improve our everyday social life. But who knows how long it'll take for something like that to successfully take off. I seriously thought it would happen by now. Well, at least I already met the best person in the world. Even if it was by chance. I guess I just got really lucky, huh? Yep, you got pretty damn lucky, alright. With, like, millions of other people. Oh, God, I don't even want to see that image. And yes, there's fan art. No, I haven't seen all of it. Have I seen the lewd ones? I don't know. There might be some Rule 34s in there, but... eh. You know what's a neat form of literature? Rap. I actually used to hate rap music. Maybe just because it was popular, or I would only hear the junk they play on the radio. But some of my friends got more into it, and it helped me keep an open mind. Rap might even be more challenging than poetry in some ways. Since you need to fit your lines into a rhythm, and there's much more emphasis on wordplay. When people can put all that together and still deliver a powerful message, it's really amazing. I kind of wish I had a rapper in the literature club. Sorry if that sounds silly, but it would be really interesting to see what they came up with. It would really be a learning experience. Fan remixers, unite! I'm pretty sure there's already a rap for this game out there. I just haven't seen it yet. Okay, how long has it been? I think it's almost been 20 minutes. So, I just really want to hear her say this one line, or one piece of dialogue, and then we'll get right into the business. Not this one. There's a really popular character type called tsundere. It's something... oh, wait. It's someone who tries to hide their feelings by being mean and fussy, or trying to act tough. I'm sure it's obvious, but Natsuki was really the embodiment of that. At first I thought she was just like that because it's supposed to be cute or something. But once I started to learn a little more about her personal life, it made a little more sense. It seems like she's always trying to keep up with her friends. You know how some friend groups in high school just make a habit of picking on each other all the time? Damn right. I think it's really gotten to her, so she has this really defensive attitude all the time. And I'm not even going to talk about her home situation. But looking back, I'm glad I was able to provide the club as a comfortable place for her. Not that it matters anymore, considering she's dead. I'm just reminiscing, that's all. Pixel, did you deliberately put Sans in chat just to trigger me? Well played, but it's not gonna work. Yeah. I mean... well, I guess... How many of you think I do really sound like a Canon Sans voice from Undertale. I think I pulled off okay. I don't know. Do you ever just feel like there's no real reason for you to be alive? Same. I don't mean in, like, a suicidal way. I just mean how nothing that we do is special. Just being in school, or working at some job for some company, it's like you're completely replaceable, and the world wouldn't miss you if you were gone. It makes me really want to go and change the world after I graduate. But the older I get, the more I realize that it's an immature frame of thinking. It's not like I can just go change the world. Like, what are the chances that I'll be the one to invent artificial intelligence, or become the president? It feels like I'm never going to make up for the heaps of resources I've spent living my life. That's why I think the key to happiness is just to be hopelessly selfish. Just to look out for oneself, and those who happen to be their friends only because they grew up with them. Never mind the fact that they're spending their entire life taking, and consuming, and never giving back. But when people realize the world would benefit more from them killing themselves, they change their whole philosophy. It's like they have to justify their reason to live by tricking themselves into thinking they're doing good. Anyway, I want to live my life desperately, striving to pay back my lifetime's worth of consumption. If I ever surpass that point, then I'm a net positive, and I can die happy. Of course, even if I fail to do that, I think I would be too selfish to kill myself anyway. So much for being a good person, right? Come on, say the line, damn you. I will give a hint. It's something that is really proper for this time of year. I'll say that much. I won't stop this until you say it. Okay, everyone. It's time to... I'm just kidding. I just used to really like saying that for some reason. I couldn't help but say it again. Come to think of it, didn't Natsuki and Yuri make fun of me for it once? Well, whatever. It's not like you ever made fun of me. You're too much of a sweetheart to do that, aren't you? There is absolutely nothing wrong. Well, nothing wrong with having those kind of tics. Lovania, do you believe in God? I was never too sure myself. Well, I'm sure I never really questioned it as a kid. But as I grew up, the more I learned about the world, the more I would question it. I started to wonder why God was helping people pass exams or get over a cold, when there are children who live their lives being sold as sex slaves, or the 800 million people who are too poor to even eat. I wonder how many of those people pray to God every day until they starve and die. Or how many millions of families pray for a loved one to recover from some incurable disease? But the punchline is this. If just one person beats the odds and survives, among the thousands of others who die, then it's suddenly a miracle from God. I'd really love to meet this God who seemingly laughs at the misery of everyone not eligible for his miracles. But the irony is that I do have a creator, apparently. And you know what? I bet he's still laughing at the miserable fates of Sayori and Yuri, even as we speak. What are we to him but props in a scripted play? So, from that perspective, I don't think it's too far-fetched for there to be a god if Earth was nothing but his playset. The mind of a teenage girl, ladies and gentlemen. I do not want to get into that type of, that type of politics, so, yeah. Hey, did you know I'm a vegetarian? Like all girls in Japan? I don't mean that like I'm bragging or anything. I just thought you'd enjoy a fun fact about me. I decided to start a couple years ago after learning more about Earth's climate. The carbon footprint of cultivating livestock is just unbelievable. Anyway, I decided it's not much of a personal sacrifice to just stop contributing to that whole mess. What? Is that so strange of a reason? Well, I guess a lot of people are more concerned about it being inhumane and all that. I don't really care as much about that part. It's weird. Like, we only care about killing the things that we personally relate to as a species. Most people are fine with killing bugs because they're icky. And, of course, we all kill billions of microorganisms daily without even giving it thought. But suddenly, if they're just a little bit bigger, it's murder. I mean, what if plants feel some kind of pain too, and we just don't understand it? What if pulling leaves off a stem like someone ripping off your fingers one by one? I'm just saying, we're a pretty biased species, if you think about it. Anyway, if you ever feel like making a small contribution to the planet, it doesn't hurt to choose veggies once in a while. Even if we ever have dinner together, and you just did it for me. That would be really romantic. Interesting. Of course, fun fact about me, I'm not a vegetarian at all. Meat every day. Hey, what's your favorite game? Mine is this game. That was a joke. But if you tell me you like some other romance game better, I might get a little jealous. I don't think I ever read that before. It's kind of funny. Like I say, there's so much dialogue for her. I just wanted her to say the one thing. God damn it. Come on, please. I'm begging you, Monika. Say it for me. Say it. Hey, have you ever heard of the term called yandere? That's me. I mean, it's a personality type that means someone is so obsessed with you that they'll do absolutely anything to be with you. Usually to the point of craziness. They might stalk you to make sure you don't spend time with anyone else. They might even hurt you or your friends to get their way. But anyway, this game happens to have someone who can basically be described as a yandere. By now, it's pretty obvious who I'm talking about. And that would be... you. She really got insanely possessive of you once she started to open up a little. She even told me I should kill myself. I couldn't even believe she said that. I just had to leave I just had to leave at that point. But thinking about it now, it was a little ironic. Anyway, a lot of people are actually into the yandere type, you know? I guess they really like the idea of someone being crazy obsessed with them. People are weird. I don't judge, though. Also, I might be a little obsessed with you, but I'm far from crazy. It's kind of the opposite, actually. I turned out to be the only normal girl in this game. It's not like I could ever actually kill a person. Just the thought of it makes me shiver. But come on. Everyone's killed people in games before. Like in that one Call of Duty game? Does that make you a psychopath? Of course not. But if you do happen to be into the yandere type, I can try acting a little more creepy for you. Then again, there's already nowhere else for you to go, or anyone for me to get jealous over. Is this a yandere girl's dream? I'd ask Yuri if I could. That's something to think about. Deep psychological lore. Okay, it's been. Yeah, this is gonna be a separate video. I know it. I'm gonna call it Part Monika. Done. I really like the sound of rain. Same. Not so much getting my clothes and hair wet though, but a nice quiet day at home with the sound of rainfall outside my window. It's one of the most calming experiences for me. Yeah. Sometimes I imagine you holding me while we listen to the sound of the rain outside. That's not too cheesy or anything, is it? Would you ever do that for me, Lovania? She's not wrong. I'm more of a fan of gray, rainy days myself, so... But then again, that's just me. Please say the one line. Please say the one line. Please say the one line. You ever have that thing happen where you just get anxious for no reason? Like, you're just minding your own business and you realize you're feeling really anxious? And you're sitting there like, what am I even anxious about right now? So you start to think about all the things you might be anxious about. And that makes you even more anxious. That's the worst. If you're ever feeling anxious, I'll help you relax a little. Besides, in this game, my eyes could start burning. Oh no. All our worries are gone forever. It's okay. I'm fine, folks. Staring at the screen for hours and hours. So... Sometimes I think back to middle school. I'm so embarrassed by the way I used to behave back then. It almost hurts to think about. I wonder if when I'm in college, or Kuleg, I'll feel that way about high school. I like the way I am now, so it's pretty hard for me to imagine that happening. But I also know that'll probably change a lot as time goes on. We just need to enjoy the present and not think about the past. And that's really easy to do with you here. Stop laughing at me after every sentence. God damn. There. Enjoy Gargle Symphony. I can't help but wonder how things would be different if the game just gave me a route in the first place. Modders. I think I would end up forcing onto my... I think I would end up forcing you onto my route anyway. It has less to do with me not having a route, and more to do with me knowing that nothing is real. I think the only difference would be that I may not have needed to take such drastic measures to be with you. Maybe the rest of the club would still be around. Not that it really matters. It all lost its meaning once I found out it wasn't real. So I really don't miss those days or anything. I really don't. Yeah, middle school is really the awkward years for anyone, especially me. Yeah. Don't really feel like going into too much detail from that. So, all in all, school's hard, it's a bitch. So, you know, I really do think you literally saved my life by being here with me, Lavania. I can't imagine having been able to keep myself mentally stable, knowing that nothing here is real. I think I would just have deleted myself if you didn't show up. Sorry, I don't mean to sound dramatic or anything. But I'm sure you understand yourself after spending so much time in the club. I mean, if you were forced to abandon everything in your life and spend your eternity with a few game characters, you'd probably find some way of killing yourself, wouldn't you? Well, maybe you'd write some poetry to try to keep yourself sane for a while. But then you'd have nobody to even read it. Let's be honest, the club members really don't count for something like that. I mean, a lot of people say that they only write for themselves. But I think it's hard to say it's just as fulfilling as when you share with people. Even if it takes time to find the right people to share with. Like, remember how it was for Yuri? She didn't share her writing with anyone for a really long time. And before we knew it, she was absolutely delighted to make you a part of her hobbies too. We're programmed to desire social feedback. I don't mean the club members, I mean human beings. That's why life can be so confusing for introverts. Being an introvert doesn't mean you shun social interaction and hate being around people. It means social interaction, especially in groups or unfamiliar places, uses up a lot of energy. Like, a lot of introverts sit at home and feel lonely and restless. And then when they finally go out, after a half hour, they just want to go home again. I think if more people could understand how it works, they would respect it a lot more. Many introverts do enjoy having people around. They love just having one or two close friends over and just leisurely hanging out. There she goes again. Even if you're not actively spending time together, it feels nice for them just to have you there. I'm serious. If you just go to their house, bring your laptop, and hang out there for a while, you can really make their day. As for me, I'd say I'm kind of an in-between, but I think I'm usually a little more extroverted. I feel like I'm always trying to do stuff after school and things like that. But for you, I can be anything you need me to be, maybe. I understand people really well, so don't be afraid to share your unique needs with me. Nothing would make me happier than being the perfect girlfriend for you. You think you know everything, don't you? Don't ya? Yeah. Hey viewers, I challenge you to predict what side of the spectrum I am. Extrovert or introvert? You decide. You know, it's funny, because even though I've always had a lot of drive, there's something kind of enticing about being a stay-at-home partner. I guess I'm, like, perpetuating gender roles or whatever by saying that. But being able to keep the house clean and shop and decorate and things like that, and having a nice dinner for you when you come home, is that a weird fantasy? I mean, I'm not sure if I could actually see myself doing that. I wouldn't really be able to put that over striving for a fulfilling career. It's kind of cute to think about, though. Yeah, I wouldn't really picture her as a stay-home mom, personally, but fanfic writers, have at it. Because when you put your mind to it, you can accomplish anything. I hate how hard it is to form habits. There's so much stuff where actually doing it isn't hard, but forming the habit seems impossible. It just makes you feel so useless, like you can't do anything right. I think the new generation suffers from it the most. Probably because we have a totally different set of skills than those who came before us. Thanks to the interwebs, we're really good at sifting through tons of information really quickly. But we're bad at doing things that don't give us instant gratification. I think if science, psychology, and education don't catch up in the next 10 or 20 years, then we're in deep trouble. But for the time being, if you're not one of the people who can conquer the problem, you might just have to live with feeling awful about yourself. Good luck, I guess. You, sir, are speaking my mind about education. But on a serious note, I think, yeah, in like the next 10 or 20 years, it's gonna get a whole lot worse. Hey, I wonder if Yuri's tea set is still somewhere in here. Or maybe that got deleted too. It's kind of funny how Yuri took her tea so seriously. I mean, I'm not complaining because I liked it too. But I always wonder with her, is it truly passion for her hobbies, or is she just concerned about appearing sophisticated to everyone else? This is the problem with high schoolers. Well, I guess considering the rest of her hobbies, looking sophisticated probably isn't her biggest concern. Still, I wish she made coffee once in a while. Coffee can be nice with books too, you know? Then again, I probably could have just changed the script myself. I guess I never really thought of that. Well, there's no sense thinking about it now. But if you still get to drink coffee, then that makes me a little jealous. Not much of a caffeine fan, in all honesty. But I hear coffee is both gross, but it helps you stay awake throughout the whole day, so I don't know. The only energy drinks I bother drinking would be like, I don't know, like Sprite or 7-Up. That's about it. You know, this is just some kind of tacky romance game, right? I kind of have to ask, what made you consider even playing in the first place? Were you that lonely? Like every nerd on the internet. What? No, just kidding. I feel a little bad for you. But I guess everything worked out perfectly in the end, for both of us. I got to meet you. You're not lonely anymore. I can't help but feel like this was fate. Don't you feel that way too? I'm so happy we have this ending together. Oh, will you please provide us with the line? This is already gonna turn into like an hour-long episode once this is uploaded. You know, it's been a while since we've done one of these, so let's go for it. Here's Monika's writing tip of the day. Sometimes when I talk to people who are impressed by my writing, they say things like, "I can never do that." It's really depressing, you know? As someone who loves more than anything else to share the joy of exploring your passions, it pains me when people think that being good just comes naturally. That's how it is with everything, not just writing. When you try something for the first time, you're probably going to suck at it. Sometimes, when you finish, you feel really proud of it and even want to share it with everyone. But maybe after a few weeks you come back to it and you realize it was never really any good. That happens to me all the time. It can be pretty disheartening to put so much time and effort into something, and then you realize it sucks. But that tends to happen when you're always comparing yourself to the top professionals. When you reach right for the stars, they're always going to be out of your reach, you know? The truth is, you have to climb up there, step by step. And whenever you reach a milestone, first you look back and see how far you've gotten. And then you look ahead and realize how much more there is to go. So, sometimes it can help to set the bar a little lower. Trying to find something you think is pretty good, but not world class. And you can make that your own personal goal. It's also really important to understand the scope of what you're trying to do. If you jump right into a huge project and you're still amateur, you'll never get it done. So if we're talking about writing, a novel might be too much at first. Why not try some short stories? The great thing about short stories is that you can focus on just one thing that you want to do right. That goes for small projects in general. You can really focus on the one or two things. It's just a good learning experience and stepping stone. Oh, and one more thing. Writing isn't something where you just reach into your heart and something beautiful comes out. Just like drawing and painting, It's a skill in itself to learn how to express what you have inside. That means there are methods and guides and basics to it. Reading up on that stuff can be super eye-opening. That sort of planning and organization will really help prevent you from getting overwhelmed and giving up. And before you know it, you start sucking less and less. Nothing comes naturally. Our society, our art, everything, it's built on thousands of years of human innovation. So as long as you start on that foundation and take it step by step, you too can do amazing things. That's my advice for today. Thanks for listening. Holy crap. By the way, I just want to say, this is just one dude. One dude wrote all of this. And he's a very interesting person on Twitter. You should follow him. Man, I wish there was a piano in here. I never got to finish that song I was working on. And after I worked so hard on it, I never even got a chance to play it for you. Well, it is what it is, right? No sense having any regrets. I already get to be here with you forever. Yeah, such a damn shame, Monika. Yeah, it's not like, millions of people will do covers of it on YouTube, including me, but yeah. It kind of sucks to be the creative type. It feels like they work so hard but get almost nothing for it. Like artists, writers, and actors. It's sad because there's so much beautiful talent in the world, but most of it goes unseen and unpaid. I guess that just means there's a huge surplus of creativity, huh? Kind of makes you feel like you're just not special at all. But that's fine. You're supposed to just write for yourself anyway, right? Yeah. You really are the lady who knows everything. Hey, you know that book you were reading with Yuri? Portrait of whatever it was called. It's funny, because I'm pretty sure that book... Actually, I don't think I should be talking about this. Sorry. Just forget I said anything. Something to do with like a portrait or... like... I don't know. Markov? My patience is wearing thin, Monika. Say it. Come on. Believe it or not, yeah, after all this, she still hasn't said it. Come on. You're such a good listener, Lovania. I really love that about you. Sometimes I'm afraid that I'm rambling or talking about boring things. It makes me kind of self-conscious when I'm having a conversation. But I don't feel that way about with you. Like, I don't think anyone else could make me feel this way. You really are special. I don't want anyone to tell you otherwise. am pretty great, aren't I? Just kidding. Oh boy. I think it really has been an hour since we've been sitting here. Oh, okay. I've been imagining all the romantic things we could do if we went on a date. We could get lunch, go to a cafe, go shopping together. I love shopping for skirts and bows. Or maybe a bookstore. That would be appropriate, right? But I'd really love to go to a chocolate store. They have so many free samples. And of course, we'd see a movie or something. Gosh, it all sounds like a dream come true. When you're here, everything that we do is fun. I'm so happy that I'm your girlfriend, Lovania. I'll make you a proud boyfriend. Yeah, there's this game coming out. I don't know if you know this, Monika, but it's coming out this December. It's kind of a big deal. You want to mention that thing, you know? Please? Ow. Back in my debate club days, I learned a whole lot about arguing. The problem with arguing is that each person sees their opinion as the superior one. That's kind of stating the obvious, but it affects the way they try to get their point across. Let's say you really like a certain movie, right? If someone comes along and tells you the movie sucks, because it did X and Y wrong, like that one, like Gen 6, doesn't that make you feel kind of personally attacked? It's because by saying that, it's like they're implying that you have bad taste. And once emotions enter the picture, it's almost guaranteed that both people will be left sour. But it's all about language. If you make everything as subjective sounding as possible, then people will listen to you without feeling attacked. You could say, I'm personally not a fan of it, and I felt that like I felt that I like it more of it than X. What the fuck? I can't do. Okay, X and Y, things like that. It even works when you're citing facts about things. If you say, I read on this website that works like this, or if you admit that you're not an expert on it, then it's much more like you're putting your knowledge on the table rather than forcing it onto them. If you put an active effort to keep the discussion mutual and level, they usually don't follow suit. Then you can share your opinions without anyone getting upset just from a disagreement. Plus, people will start seeing you as open-minded and a good listener. It's a win-win, you know? Well, I guess that would be Monika's debate tip of the day. That sounds a little silly. Thanks for listening, though. I'll listen to Gargle Symphony again, because I can do that again. If you're not gonna mention the one thing, please. I'm gonna stop you once it gets to like 4 hours. But, you know, most of this dialogue is pretty interesting. So, I enjoy it. Do you ever feel like you waste too much time on the internet? Like every day. Social media can practically be like a prison. It's like whenever you have a few seconds of spare time, you want to check on your favorite websites, and before you know it, hours have gone by and you've gotten nothing out of it. Anyway, It's really easy to blame yourself for being lazy, but it's not really even your fault. Addiction isn't usually something you can just make disappear with your own willpower. You have to learn techniques to avoid it and try different things. For example, there are apps that let you block websites for intervals of time. Or you can set a timer to have a more concrete reminder of when it's time to work versus play. Or you can separate your work and play environments, which helps your brain get into the right mode. Even if you make a new user account on your computer to use for your work, that's enough to help. Putting any kind of wedge like that between you and your bad habits will help you stay away. Just remember not to blame yourself too hard if you're having trouble. If it's really impacting your life, then you should take it seriously. I just want to see you be the best person you can be. Will you do something today to make me proud of you? I'm always rooting for you, Lavania. Alright. If he doesn't say it this time, I think it's about time we move on. Okay. I'm not really a fan of cold weather, are you? If I had to choose between too cold and too hot, I would always pick too hot. When you're cold, it can actually be painful. Your fingers get numb, and if you wear gloves, you can't use your phone. It's so inconvenient, but when it's too hot, it's not that hard to stay cool with a cold drink or by staying in the shade. Although, I do have to admit one thing. Cold weather makes for better cuddle weather. Okay, that was cute. I'll give you that, but